So yes, I wanted these things and I was burning these bempos, but at the end of the day, it required ties, to
Yeah.
go to a sangoma and find. And so I feel like I did not have those very strong ties, but I did open those doors, and it's something that I prayed about for deliverance, because even with crystals I was messing around with that, even with astrology, like I was
Mm.
just trying to find myself spiritually. And then there was someone that I was in a relationship with, like very early on. I think it was like 10 years ago, and that person had visited me, and so she was a Christian, but she'd gone through these things,
Yes.
and like the things of ubungoma,
Mm.
So she'd gone, I think, halfway through
What
that
is that?
process. Isangoma,
Oh, okay.
yeah, Isangoma, but she did not go through with it.
Mm.
By God's grace, I think it was a family friend or something, took her back to church, and so she told me, like very on, cause I hadn't seen her in like years, and then when I saw her, she told me, "But I'm gonna be a Christian," and the time was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And yeah, but yeah, she told me about the realities of these things, because I was telling her, I'm into these things of, I want to learn about my ancestors and all
Yes.
of these things. And so she was telling me about someone having gone through it. She was telling me, Guti, Isangoma, like the medicines and stuff that they give into you. Like, she was saying from her experience, the person who was initiating her into Ungoma, like, she felt like even at night, that person was watching her.
What?
So like a lot of these medicines and things that they give to you, like, they tie you to them, you know so which is why, like, if you go there and you have one problem that you want them to help you with, that problem can be solved, but two more are going to pop up,
Mm.
because why? You need to come back,
Mm.
so
Mm.
you always keep coming back in order to feed, from these people, and so she was just explaining, like, how, I think this is mostly her testimony, because for me it's hearsay, so I don't know the full processes, but her explaining these things, it kind of opened my eyes up a bit more about it. And I remember, so she was dealing with a lot spiritually, because her mom had passed on, and so a lot of things were going on in her life. And so I remember, so she used to drink at
Mm.
times,
Mm.
and when she drank, it was like, it was a completely different person that I was dealing with. I remember at times I'd come through, and she wouldn't even recognize me. It'll be like, she'll be like, "Who are you?" And like, when I look at her, even I don't recognize her. It's like
Yeah.
there's someone else, or there's something else that is behind that. And I remember, so I would tell her when she's sober, and she wouldn't believe me. And then she told me eventually, what, when that thing happens,
Mm.
call this number.
Yeah.
So this was a number to a church, right? So someone at church, apparently that person was going to be able to help. So it happened, and where this thing, it manifested through her, and it would just be aggressive.
Mm.
And so I called that number, and you know, before, whenever I'd be watching, videos on deliverances or stuff like that in church, and
Mm.
the pastors telling, some demon or whatever, get out, and and I'd see people doing all of this. Like, I always thought with that, it's the actors. How much
Yeah.
are you paying these people? These are paid actors. So for me, it always felt like, nah, it's not real. There's a lot of tomfoolery going on in the background.
Mm.
But when that person, that it was a lady that I called, and that lady started praying,
Mm.
and the manifestations that were happening in front of me, it was something that I could not deny. you
Mm.
know because for me, when I had tried to speak to her in that, like, it's like that entity, or that spirit
Yeah.
didn't even recognize me. It was like, who are you? And in a like, with contempt, and with lack of fear, and like, I felt so powerless. None of my crystals, none of my peppers,
Yeah.
like, I felt extremely powerless. And then, so when that lady started praying, that in the name of Jesus, I started seeing how that entity, it would just act. And it would be touched. She would start manifesting, and all of these things. So for me, what clicked that day was that, I don't understand a lot of these things that are going on right now, but one thing that I do is that I do understand, is that the name of Jesus, it helps to keep these things at bay, and it can defeat them. So that lady was praying. Like, I remember we were staying at this compound, and we were renting out like a room there, and people thought, like, I was beating her up, I was abusing her, because, like, she was shouting, and all of this manifestation. I remember these ladies came, and they were knocking on the door, and I told them, like,
Yeah.
we're praying, and then, like, it was so hectic. So for me, that's when I knew, okay, yes, I knew that God is real,
Yeah.
but that's when I knew the the power of Jesus,
Yeah.
how powerful Jesus actually is. And also that, before, when I'd, gone to these yogas and these crystals, everything was about energies, and, good and bad energy, so, but after that experience, I realized, demons have personalities, they are persons as well, with intentions, with dark intentions over your life. They want to come into your life to do something, for their own purposes. So that was the first time that I actually realized that, they will actually speak to you and tell you, good to know, me, I'm not going here, I'm not leaving, and the things that thing was saying about her was saying, would to know, this person is going to change people's lives, I can't leave here, because they're going to do this, they're going to do these powerful things, and if I leave here, I'm going to kill her, if I, so it was just all of these things. They made me realize, I was not in any position to judge, because I realized that there was a lot of things that I hadn't dealt with, that I hadn't been delivered from, so that's when, for me, I started my journey walking with God. And